If you are thinking about homeschooling or have enrolled your children into their first year of homeschooling and you've decided to do it, welcome. This video is for you. Today, I'm going to be talking about all of the expectations and reality and maybe some things I wish I would have known before I started homeschooling my children. And let me tell you, I have learned a lot and I'm still learning so much as I have started my homeschooling journey about a year and a half ago. So I'm here to talk to you about all of those things. And if you are new here, my name is Bethany. I'm a homeschooling mom of 3. I have a child in grade 1, preschool, and a 1-year-old. So things are busy, but they are so good and I have so much to talk about today. So when I decided that we were going to homeschool, I thought that making a room that was just dedicated to homeschooling, getting cute posters and supplies and all of this stuff was going to make me a successful homeschooling mom, and we were gonna have a great homeschooling year. And I thought that having all my ducks in a row was gonna create a very successful year for us. And I learned very quickly that things are not like the public school system. You are not supposed to recreate school at home. It's just going to look completely different. So I honestly thought that if I would create this school environment at home, that it was going to be completely foolproof and we were going to just jump into learning and things were going to be great. But that was just not the case. Things changed and my perspectives have changed. Things just didn't really fall into place like I thought they would, and that's totally okay. So I just want to take a minute to thank today's video sponsor, and that is iClever. We have been using their kids' headphones for a little bit and my kids absolutely love them. They have these amazing light up LED lights that are on the side and my kids think they're super cool. They come with a bunch of different light settings, which is so neat. We've been using these a lot for my kids around the house when we are doing school, when the kids are needing to focus on something, when they're using their iPad, or even using them for travel. And of course, even a little dance party here and there. Not only do they look cool, but it's great because they have 3 sound settings from 74, 85, and 94 decibels, so you can limit the volume for your kids. They're also great because they do fold up, so if you're needing to store them, they have that option. Also, forget about these running out of battery. They run on 55 hours of playtime and they have a really easy USB charging setup, so it's not super difficult to charge these up. In just 10 minutes of charging, it gives you 7 hours of playtime, which is unbelievable. Also, these are Bluetooth connected and they're completely wireless, but if you want to use a wire, that is also included. They are super durable and super comfortable on my kids' heads, and they've not complained about them being uncomfortable whatsoever, and they really love these. Another great thing about these headphones is that they actually have hands-free calling, so you can actually use them as well, and I've tried them on and they are actually very comfortable. So, and also for all of my American followers, iClever is having a spring break sale this Friday, March 31st, and they are doing a discount up to 47% off, a 1-day only sale. So if you're looking to get some headphones, you're going to definitely want to check that out in the link down below. Also, they do other different sales from time to time, and they also have some other great spring break deals coming up in the following month. So thank you so much to iClever for sponsoring today's video, and make sure you go check out their amazing kids headphones. Okay, so the first thing that I want to talk about here is that it's really easy to compare different homeschooling moms to yourself. And I've said this before, not just in motherhood, but this is also a great application for homeschooling, is that you are specifically you. And so you as a homeschool mom are going to teach your children differently than somebody else. Yes, it's good to have all the resources and to have all the curriculum and things like that. I'll get into that in a second. But you are going to be teaching your child differently, and you are going to do things the best to your ability, and it's going to look different because you are you. I just want to kind of reiterate that, like I have in my previous videos, that things will just be unique to you, and to try not to compare yourself so much to everybody else. Curriculum can feel really overwhelming, and I know that there are so many different options, and utilize this. if you want to try something, go for it, try it. The great thing about homeschooling is that you are given funding. So I am actually from Canada. So in Canada, each province has its own amount of funding that homeschoolers get per student. And so for us, we're in Alberta, and my child that is enrolled for homeschooling gets about $850 of funding per year. And so that can go towards curriculum. And so if you are wanting to try something, go ahead and try it. You can use your funding for that. And it is a great way to just try new things. You don't have to feel like you're just set on trying one curriculum all the way through. If it doesn't work for you, try something else. That's the beauty of homeschooling, is that it's so flexible and that you can change your learning plan throughout the year, and that's not a problem. So try different curriculum. If you are on a budget, trying to find curriculum that is used is a great way to try different things without breaking the bank. And also there are great resources out there for free curriculum as well. So there are options for you. And again, not everyone is going to use curriculum for their learning. So that's another thing that I learned, is that you don't always have to use curriculum to teach your child. And I actually had no idea. And it's a wonderful tool, obviously, and it's very successful in teaching children. And it all depends on what kind of homeschooling you want to implement into your home as well. Also, when it comes to curriculum here in Canada, when you're enrolled with a school, you are given a support teacher to help you and to come alongside you and do 2 assessments throughout the year. And so she or he is there to help you throughout the year to answer any of your questions. So I thought that homeschooling was just going to be me just kind of left on my own for me to just figure everything out by myself, and that's really not the case. You have support with you, and that's the wonderful thing about that, is that if you have curriculum questions, you can ask your support teacher and they are very happy to help you. So another thing that I wasn't really prepared for when it came to homeschooling was interruptions. Interruptions happen quite often, and especially if you have younger children. I thought that, we were just gonna sit down at the table, I was gonna be able to get through a lesson and have no interruptions and just be able to do this so seamlessly, and that's really not the case. Yes, there are times where I will block out time with my oldest to sit down and do a lesson. Usually that's during nap time, but I really wasn't taken into account, when I made like our schedule at the beginning of homeschooling, that, I didn't really take account for interruptions. And of course they happen constantly. And there are some days where there are so many distractions and interruptions happening where I cannot focus and I'm feeling overwhelmed, and I can tell my daughter's feeling overwhelmed. We're just like, you know what, let's just take a break. We'll come back to this tomorrow or at a later time, and we go outside and play, and we just kind of have a big reset. And that is totally okay. That's the beauty, is that things are flexible. You don't have to stick to a regimented schedule because interruptions will happen. Also, one great thing that I have been doing is giving my 2 sons, my younger children, some activities while I am going to teach a lesson to my daughter when they are awake. A lot of times they just want to be involved in things anyway, so usually they'll come to the table and just listen in. But usually I'll put on an activity for them. I'll put some toys out for my youngest, or I will have my other son, he will do an application called Reading Eggs, which he really enjoys. It's educational and it's really great. So he really likes doing that. So just setting them up with something, whether that's around the table or wherever you homeschool, just so that they are kind of doing something while you're doing a lesson, it can be really helpful too. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. There have been days where I have been completely overwhelmed. And I know that you probably have felt the same at some points, where it just feels like a lot of information. It feels like a big learning curve, especially for you as a mom, as you kind of enter into this season or are thinking about it. But there have been times where I really don't know if I am cut out for this. And there have been days where I am just feeling so overwhelmed. So one thing that I really kind of overcame feeling overwhelmed was just kind of coming back to my whys on why I'm homeschooling and simplifying things so much. Just not worrying about all the little things that I need to be doing, but just saying, you know what, if my child is being taught, if they're learning, if they are having fun, if we are enjoying our time together, and that's really at the basis at the end of the day, all that matters. So realizing that it's okay to feel overwhelmed, it's a natural feeling, it's a big learning curve, and you're not not gonna have everything figured out right away. I've only been into my homeschooling journey for about a year and a half, and I still have moments where I'm like, am I doing enough? And I think as time goes on, you gain more confidence, and also you figure out what works best for you and your family and the type of homeschooling that you're gonna wanna continue with. That's a great thing, is that you can always change things. You can always change your mind. And that's the beauty of that. And also, one thing that's really helped me with overwhelm is just planning. It can be really simple, but just planning ahead for the next day. What you wanna do or what you loosely wanna get done, of course interruptions happen, but just having a bit of a plan of like, okay, we wanna do this and we wanna do this, and we'll see if it happens, and if not, that's fine. But just having like a loose plan in your head can be really helpful to not feel super overwhelmed the next day. Another thing that I wish I would have known was that your child's not gonna wanna learn every single day. And this is something that we've definitely encountered, where my oldest really doesn't want to do a lesson today, or doesn't want to do her workbook, or doesn't really want to do what we have planned. And that's totally normal. That happens all the time. I think one thing that I have learned is that even though we don't always want to do something, it doesn't mean we shouldn't do that thing. And to be able to teach that to our children, I think is really important. Yes, there's things that they're not going to want to do, but that doesn't mean that it's not important and we shouldn't complete those things. Yeah, she doesn't want to finish the sheet in her workbook. But you know, it's good for us to finish the job well, and then we can go on to do something that we really do enjoy. So sometimes I will say, okay, well, let's finish this worksheet right here. It's only gonna take you about 5 minutes or so, and after that 5 minutes, then we can go outside and play. You know, so just kind of giving them a bit of motivation to finish that, and to instill those good values of being able to do things we don't always wanna do, but even though it's good for us. One thing that I wish I would have known is that you don't need to do all the things, if that makes sense. Like I said earlier, it's really easy to compare what another homeschooling mom is doing to what you're doing in your homeschooling journey with your kids. And not everything is going to be the right fit for you. Someone is involved in a co-op, it might not be the best fit for you and your family. Those can be helpful things, but at the same time, like, do trial and error. Figure out what works best for you, because ultimately, you are the best fit to teach your children. You are going to do an amazing job. I think sometimes we sell ourselves short as moms, thinking that we can't teach our children or can't homeschool because we just don't have the ability. And I know I thought that about myself, and I was really selling myself short. If I can teach my children up to the age of 5, until they're ready for kindergarten, on all the things about life, you can continue to teach your children as they get older. Yes, I am not very good at math. The higher math subjects I am not good at, but that's the beauty of homeschool, is that there are resources out there for you, and you can even have teacher-led classes on those subjects. So it's not like everything is completely on the shoulders of you as you homeschool your children. And there are so many ways for you to homeschool your children and teach them. And I think that's the beauty of it, is that it may feel very overwhelming at the beginning, but you are capable to teach your children as their mother or father or whoever is teaching them. You are capable. I just want to encourage you, as you are thinking about homeschooling, know that yes, there are going to be obstacles along the way, and that is natural. That's a natural part of life, but lean into figuring out what works for you. And sometimes it's good to embrace those things that maybe don't work for us, and just figuring out what does. Because I find that when you try something and it doesn't work, then you are that much closer to figuring out how this is all gonna, fit together for you and your family. But I'm gonna be completely honest, you guys, I still don't have a lot of this figured out. I am still learning so much, and I know I will continue to learn as the years go on. Again, thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope you found it helpful as you kind of figure out if you are wanting to homeschool, or something that you can be kind of prepared for as you start to homeschool your children. So again, thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this video helpful. If you're looking for more homeschooling videos, I do have quite a few that I have come out with already, and I would love it if you would subscribe for more videos like this in the future. So thank you guys again so much for watching, and we'll see you guys in my next one. Bye guys.